morning with praise and grace in our heart. We ask you to give us the strength and wisdom to do things that are pleasing in your sight and in the best interest of all the citizens across Washington County. We ask that you watch over us as we go through this pandemic, not just here in Washington County, the state of Mississippi, but as we do it across this nation and the world. Continue to watch us and guide us and get us through the voting process that we'll have on tomorrow. For these and other blessings, we ask it all in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. And the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Washington County Board of Supervisors in session. Dr. Palmer, give me the presiding school to adjourn.
Okay. On the agenda. Additions?
Yes, sir, we do. Go ahead. Mr. President, you need
Hey.
to add Attorney Scott Phillips, and needs to be added at item 15. Scott Phillips is from Jackson.
Item 15.
And
Miss-
also need to add Lionel Hines, who wants to discuss the ATV trail for review.
Mr. Attorney, I'd like to add Arcola, some ditches need mopping out, and I'd like to add that as a item.
Okay, unless you just want to tell Ms. Perry what you want, but okay.
Yeah, but I need to get it approved according to him,
Okay.
according to Mr. Perry, so I want the board to address it.
Okay, it's on the agenda. Assistant to Arcola. Anyone else? We got it's, right, because it's in the pack. It's part of your report, Ms. Carter? Yeah, it's on. Anything else? If not, need a motion to approve with the additions. I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Everybody make sure you got your mics on, and please speak into them so we can have it on the recording. Okay, the minutes. Questions or comments about the minutes, changes? If not, we need a motion.
So moved.
I've got a motion and a second to approve minutes from the previous meeting. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous as well. E911 expenditures. We got a copy, but David, come on up if you would. That mic should be on, and it'll just lay there. We see Rod didn't get it in the stand, but everybody shouldn't have to pick it up. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Morning.
All right, E911 expenditures for the month of October. Total $32,381.46.
Questions or comments? I need a motion to approve.
So moved to approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We've had some vandalism down at our Highway 12 tower site. That's the tower site that has the repeater for the tornado sirens in it. We've had some people coming in and cutting the back fence and getting up in there, and they cut a big section of it out the other day and rolled it back. Footprints go up to the tower, so it appears they're probably looking for copper. They're not going to find any, but they're going to cost us a lot of money if they get in there and start cutting cables. We have purchased 2 cameras that send pictures when it takes them over the internet. What we need, we've got to have a cellular subscription for each of those cameras. It's $99 a year, and I'm asking for authorization to use the county credit card to purchase those 2 cell subscriptions for a total of $198.
Need a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Probably moved and seconded. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Question? Motion carries. Lee?
Is there any other sites that we need to do that also?
No, we've never had any trouble behind the convention center. Never had any trouble with any of our sirens. So Okay. I have for FEMA Disaster 4528, which is the COVID-19, I have the designation of applicant agent form and the state-local agreement that comes along with each public assistance disaster that I need to present to the board.
Yeah,
4528.
you present that to the board for approval.
It's the designation of the applicant agent, which is the person that manages the grant, and the state-local disaster assistance agreement. Stock form that comes each time. It says who will do what.
David, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
The last report that you gave us on the last meeting in October,
Yes, ma'am.
I think I brought this to the board's attention already.
The camera,
The camera.
the credit, using the credit card.
As well as the designation of the applicant agent.
Okay.
I didn't do that already.
Okay.
Is this the same report from that particular meeting?
Yes, this is,
So it's done.
Yes, it's done.
you have the forms?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So he's good on that. Anything else, David?
That's all I have.
Any questions for David? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As long as he, please make sure we got everything we need. And we'll continue.
Project number one I submitted right now is a little over $105,000. I submitted a second project. It was specifically the Serve Pro cleaning that we did. It was around $20,000. I've submitted that. That's project number two. We'll have additional projects as this moves on. Every 3 months, Shalisa's going to collect all the information and get it to me, and we'll submit projects that way. But they are in process. Number wise, we're staying around 900. It's jumped back up and it's staying there. So it's still here. The only action that I'm aware of is individual counties where they've gone in and added a little extra because they're spiking more than everybody else. So, but as far as overall, nothing has changed. All right.
All right. Thanks, David. Nothing else? County engineer. Chad's not here.
Good morning.
Morning.
You can read the report as printed, but I highlight some of the items. Item number 3 is very important. Reviewed the 39 bridges closed to see eligibility for the LSB, but under that is related to item 4, where we have bridge posting signs. That's a major concern from state aid that we have our bridge posting signs because they control our federal funding with the bridge program. And we had some from last year. They are not posted, so they're contacting us frequently on making sure we get those signs installed. And talking to the road department, they're scarce as far as the sanitation. People who are working on the sanitation, they're doing the bridge posting signs. So they're really only working those on like Wednesdays, right? On the bridge postings. So we really need that. They're probably doing like 7 of them a week, but I mean, we need to make sure we it's like 40 or 50 of them out. So at the rate we're going, we're going to be behind. So if we could get, some help or something, we need to contract it out or whatever we need to do to get up par, then we can be ahead of the curve on that. So we make sure we need to do something about that because that's very important. The bridge posting signs.
1 second. Anybody else got questions on bridge posting signs?
You're talking about weight limits.
Yeah, weight limits. Yeah, that's very important because if you don't have those proper weight limits and somebody drives across that bridge but too heavy, we're liable for any kind of damage because we didn't have it posted correctly.
Yeah. Do you have your sign guy working on that daily?
Yeah, with all the work that he has to do too.
Right. Exactly.
Well, go ahead.
What about what did you do with the guys that's, you should have, especially you got another garbage truck you're going to have coming, you should have a couple guys that you can put on that, in addition to that.
The thing is on that, we do have signs of a lot of people who think that they shoot them up, form them, knock them down in the ditches. A lot of them, we can read them on back over.
Effectively, how many people do you need does it take to get this done?
To kind of help us out, we need at least 3 or 4 guys out there.
But how are they out there? You still have to have that one truck putting up signs, or you got additional trucks? Yeah. What do you have your bridge crew doing right now?
They working on signs of the road.
Okay. All right. And this is just a thought, it may not be something you can do, but, the grass is slowed down. Even Don might could assist you some in it, because you got several guys that they're not cutting now, so maybe you can get with Don, and maybe he can help you out to get that done.
Yeah, that really what the plan was, we got probably 3 more weeks left, so
Okay.
we'll have to make the peak.
About 3 weeks.
So how many bridges you said you think you had to post on? About 50?
About 40, 50, but they're doing like probably 7 a week or something like that. Because these signs are not close together. They're like spread out over the county. So it's kind of, you got a big county, so it may be a bridge, on the north side, then it may be a bridge on the south side.
And what is the time frame that you feel comfortable we need to have it done within?
But we got a deadline for, they find it, because they're constantly adding to the list. So we had actually the first, the second today. But I think the next
deadline?
Yeah, one of the deadlines. We had one October the 15th where we're behind on that one too. So they're constantly updating it every like 15 days. We get a new deadline. So probably November the 15th is we need to have significantly amount of those signs completed.
Arthur, can you get us some kind of game plan together in order how we need to effectively get that posted and let us know, or let Carl know, or it needs to be a plan on it to try to meet that deadline.
Those signage up.
Make it a priority.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you come up with something today on it?
He's right. What we'll do, all the bridges that have done, Mr. Anderson, we'll need a list of those, plus the ones that we've gotten done between now and the next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Just has to be made a priority, like Supervisor Brooks was saying.
We needed 4 people at Warfield Point Park. We've been needing 4 or 5, I think 3 or 4 more people out there on building ground. We should not building ground, the road department. We were supposed to have had a people to go and cut the grass around these bridges and paint the end of the ones that is open. The bridges are open, they growed up so bad you don't know you're on a bridge till you done crossed it.
Right.
They closing a lot of them. So we need about 3 more people to have. I don't think we need to go and try to go out somebody to come in and put signs up on the bridge.
Oh, no.
You got enough people here and unemployed can do that.
All right, anything else from Mr. Anderson on this particular issue?
No, sir.
I mean them. Y'all good? Now it's on you, Mr. Anderson.
All right, the next one update is on Wilmont Bridge. The plans are complete, and we were discussing with manufacturers to discuss the lead time to make the cap that we designed. We talked to them last week, so they're going to give us a reply on the lead time to manufacture that, and hopefully we can schedule after Sandifer Road. They're currently working on. I guess you got to get about 2 more weeks on Sandifer. They have about 2 more weeks on Sandifer. It's the same design for Napanee Road too. So both of them are pretty much the same design. Wilmont has have 2 caps that have to be placed, and Napanee have 1. So we just have to schedule with the road department which one they can go to first or whatever. So, but the caps are designed. So
Now, the cap design is the Napanee project?
it's both of Napanee and Wilmont. They're pretty much the same identical three-span bridges, and
That was
it's
a commitment made to those citizens that use Napanee, right? That bridge would be repaired in a certain amount of time?
well, we were working on it, so we're complete with the design now. So I mean, they have a bypass that Mr. Perry installed on Napanee. They're currently working on Bassey Road right next to it. So I mean, it's up to let's first see what the lead time for the manufacturing is, and then we have a better idea for our schedule.
Okay. When you finish up on the bridge you're working on now, Mr. Perry, you all will have all the signage up, right? You said about 2 weeks you'll be finished that? So that'd be one added to the list where there's signage. The signage is complete before you walk away from that one.
All right.
Circumstance.
All right, and New South Marine roof, we completed the final inspection and the specifications for that, and there's an estimated December 4th bid date for that. So
What was the estimated cost?
we were around 75,000, but the thing is, it was at first around 60, but after further inspection, the roof is like the panels up under there, they're kind of weak. So we may find some more once they get equipment up there. I think they had the same problem last project they had, so we put an extra 15,000 just for those repairs, you know. So, but hopefully we don't find that much. But when I went up there, it was kind of rocky. So, we already updated on the Sandifer Road Bridge. So they're gonna take 2 weeks, and that's pretty much. Oh, but we did have the state aid came for a 2-day annual inspection. This wasn't a critical bridge report, but this is where we rode, 500 square miles of Washington County. It was 2 days to cover the whole county, but we will have the annual report probably in a week or 2.
Good enough. Question, Mr. Anderson? Anything else, Mr. Anderson, for us?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I do have a concern. We have some other bridges going on, and I know some of our previous meeting, I made a request for Hooker engineer come and give their report. Like we have the Bassey Road going on. One other concern I've said in the past that, we got to make sure everyone is communicating. Mr. Anderson did not know that they started on Bassey Road, so when state aid came in, they was asking about the project, and they saw a bridge closed, and Mr. Anderson could not speak to that project because it was not brought to his attention. He is the county engineer, and I just think we got to work on communication. But I made requests at a previous meeting that we need to also get a report from Hooker Engineering because they're still doing bridges in Washington County, and we need to know the status as well on those bridges. Do I need to make a motion for them to come? Because this would be my second time making this request.
Mr. Anderson, if there are some issues or concerns when you're out on a job, you don't have to wait till you get back here. Just give us a call, and we get you the information you need to make. If there's a breakdown, we can fix it then.
Okay.
But again, I don't think more so that you have to call the president of the board. I think Mr. Hooker needs to make direct contact with our county engineer on any projects that we have going on. It's just as simple. And again, when we have these reports from him, we can bring that to his attention, or you need to pull him to the side and let him know, because we all are working together to, address this issue with bridges in Washington County.
It was just a phone call will suffice because Bessie Road is right next to Napanee, you know. So if we had two bridges out, we could probably coordinate that a little better because the detour is Helm Road, and that's like a 15-minute away from it. But I didn't know until me and Ms. Brooks started discussing about Bessie Road, about Napanee. You were calling me about Napanee on the timeline, and it was Bessie Road was already out. So it's just like she said, better coordination.
Good enough. Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Hampson. Ms. Chapman, if you would, please. You need no introduction.
Hello, ex-husband. Good morning. I'm Pam Chapman, and I am here today to talk with you guys about the partnership. Good morning, Reverend Benson. About the partnership with Workforce Transportation. I started this project about 2 years ago in the Cleveland-Bolivar County area. Where there was a lack of industries that were shutting down, there were lack of job opportunities. So what I did was partner with FedEx Express out of Memphis, Tennessee, where we're actually busing people from about 9 different counties to go and work at FedEx Express in Memphis, Tennessee. We currently right now have about 12 buses that we're utilizing for FedEx Express, and about 10 buses that we're actually using for FedEx Ground, which is in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And we are beginning in 2 weeks a new workforce transportation with Milwaukee Twos that will also go to Olive Branch, Mississippi. Now, I know that many people have asked, you know, why would we take our people out of the Delta? For me, it's a simple answer. If there are not a lot of opportunities that are coming to the Delta, then we have to take the people to where the jobs are. We want people to have sustainable job stabilities. We're talking about paying people $18 an hour, not $7, not $8, not $9. And a lot of these jobs are also part-time positions with full-time benefits. That means that the dollars that come back here to Washington County helps the hospital, because now they have health insurance. Now they can go into the grocery stores and buy things. They can go shopping. They can do a whole lot of things for themselves. I am also currently working with another company out of Tennessee to actually come to the Delta to talk about opening up some warehouses and some distribution centers here. But we got to start somewhere. And so right now, what we've been doing for 2 years has been awesome. In my first year of doing this, we have hired over 500 plus people. I had the highest workforce numbers in the whole state of Mississippi. The second year, we're already at about 600, and we still have another 2 months or so to go. So what I'm saying is, what we're doing is basically helping our own people become sustainable, productive citizens, because, you know, for years people have said that the people in Mississippi Delta are lazy, they're unskilled, and they don't want to work. We have proven them wrong. I've also spoke at the state capitol to the Department of Labor, the Labor Committee, and all of them agree that we have something here, the workforce transportation, that the Delta has proven that the people want to work. So I came to you all, I want to partner with the Washington County Board of Supervisors, also with the city of Greenville, and we want to come to Washington County and to hire at least 300 to 500 people on November the 16th. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to send the buses to go and pick the FedEx Express people up and bring them here, allow them to stay all night in Washington County, put them in our hotels here in Washington County, go eat in our restaurant, go shop in our stores. So they'll be here for a day or two, at least 2 days here. We will also bring down half of the human resource team from Memphis and bring them here to the Washington County Convention Center, meaning that this will be a one-stop shop. They will come in, they will apply, they will be drug tested, they will be background checked. Everything will be done right here in Washington County. Plus, we have from the beginning been building economic to Washington County because all of our buses come out of Greenville, Mississippi. And when we began to start hiring so many people, guess what? They hired all of those bus drivers where? Out of Greenville, Mississippi, Washington County. So we were asking you, let's partner together. Let's make this a historical event. Let's give our people of the Mississippi Delta an opportunity to go to work and make $18 an hour with benefits. Questions?
I have
The
one.
greatest city in Washington County is Hollandale, and I didn't hear, but that's what we're going.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Ms. Red. What I'm asking of all the board of supervisors to do is to go back to your respectable communities, the communities that you serve, and take flyers, give them to the churches, give them to the workforce organizations, give them to the Head Starts, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to actually hire street teams to get on the ground and make sure that all the flyers, we're also going to buy advertising right here out of Greenville so that we can get the word out. It won't be no excuse that nobody didn't know.
Where do we keep those advertisements up?
The flyers and everything. I'm going to send them to Mr. McGee, and he's going to give them out to everybody.
I do have a question. I know you said partnership. How do you want a partnership? Do you need to use a building or something like that?
Yes, ma'am. What we're asking for the partnership with the Board of Supervisors is to be able to utilize the Washington County Convention Center on the 16th.
Point of information. Don't we have to check with the courts? Have you got that cleared yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
I've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Yeah, we've checked with the court schedule, and they're good with it for that day, the 16th. Now, they're going to be in, Mr. Davis, on the 15th, that's Sunday. And they'll probably, but Ms. Chapman will coordinate with you and make sure they have the access they need, have the setup that they need, pending board approval when we take this vote. But there's still some logistics, Supervisor Brooks, that we have to take care of, and that's just communicating, coordinating with Ms. Chapman and Mr. Davis. But yeah, everything's been.
Before you carry this motion, I just want to commend you, Ms. Chapman, on the work that you're doing, and it has been impactful. You actually have people from Washington County. I'm sure you know that's already on, been working with you on one of the projects. But I just commend you, and I want to thank you for coming to Washington County to open it up to our county as well. Because you hear people talk about they want jobs, and I salute you. And anything we can do, we want to continue to work with you, and hopefully we can bring one of those warehouses to Washington County. Thank you again.
Absolutely, thank you. And I wanted to say to you that I always tell people, they say, well, why are you going to Greenville and why are you going to Washington County? Because this is where I got my learning from. This is where I got my training from. And I would never forget what Washington County and Greenville did for me in my 25 plus years in television.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? All in favor of the motion, the approval for the job fair? Show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Chapman?
That's it. And also for the city, I will be meeting with the city council on tomorrow night. And what they're going to do for their partnership is to be able to assist us with the hotel rooms, because we're going to need about 25 hotel rooms.
Okay.
All right?
Just one other thing is the supervisor, Redmond, talked about Hollandale.
Yes.
Leland is the gateway and the crossroads of the Delta.
Absolutely.
6182. Just FYI.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ms. Chapman. Ms. Perry? Just talk to us, Mr. Perry. Let the mic lay. Let the mic lay there. Don't cover it up, let it lay there. Just let it lay there, Mr. Perry.
You all have my report. First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
You all have my report. I would just like to give each one of y'all some things that going on in your district, like right now. Like Mr. Gordon, we doing a little hot mix on Riverside Road. Should have finished it up in 3 days, but today it's not running, so
No.
we had to work with APAC on that deal. Okay. Mr. Benson,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned about
consider our cola needed some, our system, and you got that approved.
Yes, sir.
On a couple streets that we got to mop out some ditches.
Yes, sir.
Pick your mic up, I can't hear you.
Okay. And,
Why it need to be a thing? You need to put it up to his mouth. You should set your head down over here and let that man go.
I'll just stand back, yeah. That's good right there. Now, can you hear me now?
Listen, I could hear you better when you had your hand, but go ahead on. I can strain to hear you. Got direct sound with me.
All right, Mr. Redden,
I got you now. Go ahead.
what we plan on doing when we get through with Mr. Gordon District doing the hot mix, the board already approved for us to come to Hollindale. That's gonna be the next project we're gonna do. And Ms. Brooke, at least supposed to have a letter for, we supposed to do some assistance in legal.
Yes.
Also, we have put up the bypass so that people won't be able to go through L&N Road. So the bypass is open, and I could have said something to Lorenzo about that pipe on Bassett Road too. 'Cause we moved that pipe to Napanee for the make a bypass.
Right. I want to let you know that the citizens out there are
Yes,
happy
ma'am.
that you did that.
Ma'am?
They're very happy for the
Oh, yeah,
bypass.
it's a big plus for the people going around. It is. And Mr. McGee, we up on Meadowwood. We got to install some covering up there. We got some drainage problems. We going up there this week. Also, we putting in those screen on Baylock Road. And,
And the two beaver dams.
sir,
2 beaver dams.
Two beaver dams.
We got, he
right. Well, we took care of one beaver dam on Baylock already. And that means that I done got around to all my bosses, so you all know what's going on in your district.
I do have a question. Have we ever addressed alligator grass before?
Ma'am?
Alligator grass in the,
Yes, ma'am, we have. When I see it, I get in contact with the drainage commission. They got this speedboat that they go out there and spray it. You got some issues somewhere?
yeah, we have it in Leland. When I was on the board, we did a project with USDA. Apparently, I don't know what's going on, but the grass is overgrown in the creek, and I was just trying to identify if the county did anything with alligator grass.
It's pretty bad on Old 61 on Deer Creek too. What I do, I get up with John Beard from the Drainage Commission, and they have some kind of chemical that they get out in a boat and spray it.
Okay, thank you. Would you reach out to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you kindly.
Where are we on that chipper,
On the ground, on the reclaimer?
reclaim?
Yes, sir. It's at the shop right now, and it's welling some teeth is in it right now.
How far, how long? 'Cause
We
need
oughta-
to get it while the sun is shining and get these other roads.
We ought to get through with it this week. I got to go back up where we dropped off at it in Mr. McGee district up on Lake Ferguson.
That's why tearing up is in the wrong district. Go ahead.
We gonna get that way.
Thank God.
I got one other question. Is there a deadline to do hot mix?
Ma'am,
Is there a deadline? Is it just mostly you just go by the weather when you do your hot mix?
in hot mix, where they kind of shut down about the middle of December,
Okay.
about the middle of December.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it depends on how long APAC runs.
Right, that's right.
Anything else, Ms. Perry? Thank you, sir. Okay, Ms. Creming.
Morning.
Morning.
We have a use and occupancy permit for Tech Info on Old Highway 61. It's gonna go all the way from Arcola to Metcalf.
Talking to the mic, let's talk up to it, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, it's a use and occupancy permit that's, for Tech Info. It's going down Old 61 from Arcola to Metcalf.
So move.
I got a motion for approval for the permit
Second.
and a second. Any questions? All in favor of the motion for the permit approval, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I will say this right here, Tech Info is really working and trying to get Wi-Fi out in the rural communities, especially with the schools. He's really been working closely with the Leland School District, and we've been identifying areas in other school districts where in the rural area they can't receive traditional Wi-Fi. And so I have to commend them. They're really working, trying to get the Wi-Fi in all the areas, in the rural areas of Washington County.
Okay.
And the only other thing I have is the monthly report, and that's it, unless y'all have something else for me.
Any questions on the report at all? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Thank you.
Ms. Brooks?
Oh, yes. Oh, no, wrong.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say supervisor, what you think, come over there.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
I guess I do have an item.
Can't hear you.
I have a contract with Harris Computer Services to upgrade the Washington County Justice Court system. And I want to turn that contract in to the president, need a signature from
Stand on
the,
this side of the mic, I can hear you.
need a signature from the president. So with the Harris Computer Service contract.
What service do they provide?
It's updating the justice court system. It's the computer system for the county, but justice court system.
Is it the
not-
software they're keeping
Yes.
updated? Okay.
Yes.
You said Harry or Harvey, or what did you say?
Harris Recording Solution, Delta Computers.
Okay, Rod's part of that.
No.
What are we doing?
Updating the justice court system.
Okay,
The-
you know. Ms. Brooks, have they been updating it in the past?
It has not been.
And what does this give us, and how do we make sure long-term everything fits, works together, communicates with each other? And it concerns me if Mr. Montgomery is not involved, so help me understand where we're going.
You said do what now?
I get concerned if Mr. Montgomery, our information technology person, is not involved.
Well, this is the software for the justice court system to have it the way it operates.
Okay, when it fails, who you call?
We call Delta.
Okay,
And this is software that pretty much all the
The
justice courts
county
use in the
has.
state.
Yes.
okay. Questions from, go ahead, Lee.
How often do you need to do this, or how often have you done
Just
it?
this once.
Okay. What's the cost on that?
The cost is $7,750, and it is in the budget because I
But
requested.
moving forward, is this something that just routinely you have to do, or just whenever it calls for it? Every
Whenever they
several
calls
years?
for
Okay,
it,
okay,
right.
Okay.
And we got a discount, so it's 6,800.
So move to approve.
I got a
Second.
motion And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm
Any
also,
opposed? Motion carries, that's unanimous. I'm sorry, Ms. Brooks, go ahead.
no problem. Also requested to work from home November the 4th, 5th, and 6th due to a 3-day justice court clerks Zoom conference beginning each day at 9 o'clock and ending at 4. With the Mississippi Judicial College, the conference will provide 6 hours of legislative mandatory training.
Questions, comments, motion?
So move.
Second.
And second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed to the work home, whatever days that was? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And also, I want to present the Gasper report for Ms. Hansel, the report that we present to her each year after the Justice Court has rolled over. And that's all I have.
Okay, there are no questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
right, Veteran Services Affairs, everybody has a report from Mr. Gales. Any questions or comments on Mr. Gales' report? If not, we'll just keep it moving, and we'll adopt all or accept all the reports at the end of the meeting. Mr. Davis?
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you have a copy of my report for the October revenue?
Yeah, we do. We also got a copy of the Building and Grounds report. Any questions or comments? I see this little report right here.
Yes.
Any other questions, any comments?
Hold on, that's the report.
That's just the revenue for October.
Davis, give us an update on Walfield Point Park and your plan of attack to get that straightened out. Tell us where you are now.
On the Warfield Point Park,
Yes, sir.
I've gotten with the engineer, and we are putting together, we have the proposal. He looked at the proposal that we had before, and we're working on getting the electrical and the other information put into specs. Now, Lorenzo, can you give me?
All right, well, tell me about the RV hookups. What did you do to get those powered up?
On the RV hookups, I've been in touch with Scott to give me a quote on getting those done.
Okay,
And he's,
Nobody but Scott.
and Trey Childs. I've been in touch with Scott this week, but I have not received my report from Trey Childs just yet. So I was going to follow up with him today. But Scott was working on it last week for me.
so you're not able to terminate the power lines going into the bathrooms where the theft took place?
Well, yes, they are already terminated.
So,
But they are already terminated because we took because Energy came and took down the hookup from the transformers going into the bathrooms. So they are already terminated.
so did that allow you to bring up more than 18 RV hookups?
Now, that's what Scott's getting back with me on, to bring all those up.
Other than
The
just that?
68.
Okay.
That's what Scott is going to give me a quote on. He hadn't given it to me
All right,
yet.
let me hear you all out. Sorry.
I'm looking at the restroom, they terminated at the transformer. You all asked me to look at to see how much it would take. Since they vandalized it, it's gonna be a range, it's gonna be a range of, prices because it go from the transformer to the building and then some more damage where they took all the copper out. So.
Out of the building.
Out of the building. But you don't know all the circuitry of where the circuits, where it was going to the lights or it was going to like the sprinklers or wherever it was going to, like sprinkler head pumps, wherever. You don't know what goes what. It's like 600 amps. It's a lot of power for their building, to tell you the truth. So it has to be hooked up to something bigger than normal lights for a restaurant. But once he talked to Trey Childs and Scott, we'll give their assessment of how much it costs. I'm thinking like $15,000 just if they go from the transformer to the building, and then what I saw with a water heater and there was some more stuff in there that for the panel. And
When can y'all give us an update?
you talking to Trey Childs and Scott now, so
Next meeting?
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got something.
I'm sorry, Lee.
Two things. I think on the last meeting, we gave you approval to add 2 people to help cleaning up out there. Is that
Yes.
correct? Have you hired those people?
I haven't hired them yet, but I have it's in process now with the,
Is
it's
that-
in process now with the
Okay.
wind job service.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I guess the other thing, right there beside Paul Love Park, where those RV sites are, to the right side of the dam, are they ever used?
There you go.
Only during the summers when they had a
Well,
special event.
what I'm saying is,
But I haven't
you know,
had anybody
we've got
actually use
we've
it.
got several sites there. It's a beautiful place, and it could be nicer. Those pads, you know, we need to see about getting some gravel and some rock, limestone right there, and make those a little more attractive. And I think they would be utilized more because all the, you know, you have water and you have electricity there, but I never see anybody there. We just need to pay a little more attention to that and kind of clean it up a little better and make sure it looks good and nice. But if you made the pads a little nicer, I think people would utilize that more.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Dunn, the 2 people we voted for you to hire, can we get two people hired this week? Cause I was thinking someone has been working for the last 2 weeks. We voted to allow you to hire 2 people 2 weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And honestly, I thought you'd hired somebody within these 2 weeks to help with the cleanup. So my concern at this point, can you make this one of your priorities to go and
Yes.
hire 2 people
Yes, sir.
to start the
I
cleanup?
have.
Thank you,
I have.
Cameron.
I just haven't gotten anybody to in yet.
Where are we in the process, Mr. Davis? You're waiting on what? As far as the new hires, this temporary help?
Okay, we take it through the Wind Job Service, and the Wind Job Service prepares the job orders for me, and they give me a list of people who they've called on to come and apply for the position
Are you doing that by yourself or working with Ms. Carter?
through Ms. Carter and through Wind Job Service.
And how long you think when you think you'll have that done?
Pretty soon. By the next board meeting, I hope. By the next board
No,
meeting.
she's
No, we
talking
need,
week.
we really need to get it done by this week,
But I'll
sir.
talking a week.
I'll follow up with the lady at the Wind Job Service today to see who she has for me. That,
That's all right. We'll get somebody.
All right, come on, Doug. Got it, Doug.
yeah.
Only thing else I have is tomorrow is history with the election. The election is tomorrow. Please don't let nobody go to 5-2 and see no snake, waltzes, dirt dogs. I want that precinct ready for to be voted tomorrow. Thank you. I'm gonna check it this evening.
It's ready.
Yeah.
And also, I know we discussed last meeting, make sure you have a generator handy in case you have problems at any of these precincts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is, make sure you have it, make sure it's running, because in case anything goes down, or I'd have me some extra extension cords, heavy-duty extension cords. I'd be prepared, okay?
That's right. I told him that.
Okay.
I do have a question. How did you sanitize the precincts? How was that done?
That's, answer the question, Doug.
How do we sanitize the precincts?
Yeah, did y'all hire someone to do it or what?
How do we sanitize precincts?
Yes,
prior-
sir.
Oh,
Did
you
y'all
talking about
personally
after the
do it, or
precincts?
did y'all hire someone to sanitize the precincts for tomorrow?
We have not hired anybody. We do have our sanitizing equipment ourselves.
But so it has not been sanitized yet. The precincts.
They have not been, they
The
have not
que-
been sanitized at this point. No, they
Okay.
have not.
When you gonna do it, Doug?
I can get that done today. I'll have to get that done today.
19 precincts done.
Yeah, we got 19 precincts.
Yeah. So I have to get my guys out there.
Gonna get it today?
Yes, sir.
Anything else for Ms. Davis? Ms. Davis, anything else for us?
That's all I have.
All right, Ms. Thompson?
Just coming before the board, the election commission is asking
Can't
for.
hear you.
The election commission is asking for 15 maintenance days for this election. We have seen to have run short on days and can't complete everything out for the rest of the year.
I do have a question. What's the deadline? What do you have to have the election certified?
10 days after the election.
Okay. So why would we do 15? I'm just asking.
Because we're still working right now under no days.
So I guess I'm concerned if the certification is in 10 days, so what would we do the next 5 days after that?
Pretty much straighten everything up, put everything up, clean out our boxes, whatever needs to happen. If there is a challenge or something, be available for that.
You good, Mr. Brooks? Any other questions? Ms. Thompson? 15 additional days.
15 additional days.
When's the next election, Ms. Thompson, after this one?
We don't have an election on the books.
Next year, municipal elections.
Next year?
Next year's municipal.
Yeah, but that, okay. Okay.
Well, actually, it's a little earlier this year. I was looking at, I think it's in April. I know it's moved up for municipals.
But you want 15 days on this particular cycle right here, right?
Yes, sir.
Pleasure.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. I did. Gordon. Vincent.
Yes.
All in favor of the 15 additional days for the election commission, show by sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Oh, no, hold up.
I got a
You hold
question.
up. You
Yeah,
can't be leaving.
we
Wait a
want to
minute.
know how to.
I know you're not leaving.
But my
Oh, yeah.
question is more so. So how is
I'm sorry.
everything's looking good for tomorrow? Everything's in line or what?
Just, y'all pray. That's all.
I mean, do we have any things we need to be concerned about?
We have a lot of things that we need to be concerned about. One of the things, I was gonna let it pass, what happened on Saturday was disappointing, that fact that, Saturday, what was disappointing that to find out in District 1, we ran out of absentee ballots. And we have been doing printout ballots for about 5 to 6 days now.
All right, what else you got?
The next thing is pretty much, I don't know how cold, it's been cold every morning, but we know around 6 o'clock in the morning, it may be extremely cold because we have tents. We have tents at Buster Brown, tents at Glen Allen. We also now have a tent in, 2 tents, Tampa Road and in Metcalf. So I didn't know whether or not, we didn't put a request in for, I guess, blow heaters for those people who have to be inside those tents or double clothed up. We didn't think about that. So I don't know.
In one of the meetings, the question came up about air conditioning and heat
You
and
did.
lights.
Okay. I thought it was
Nothing's
just a
been done
light.
with that.
Okay, well, we fine.
Huh?
We're-
The question came up to you all.
Well, we have the lights. I knew it would not be hot, but as cold as it is now, like for instance now, it's 54 degrees.
Okay.
So I don't,
34 in the morning.
right. So we'll be there at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I just made a request. The request was whether or not we can get blower heaters.
The answer's gonna be yes. You gotta tell us what you're finna do and how much.
Go ahead.
The answer's gonna be yes.
You're talking about those forced heaters that
Yeah,
you just get from
that's it.
Taylor Rental.
Right.
Do we have any of those, the kerosene heaters, the forced kerosene heaters? We don't have any of those?
Torpedo style.
Yeah. So that, because those tents are fairly good size, and you'll need some, but I'm sure Taylor Rental's got something that y'all can get, for that.
Ms. Thompson, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
Find out the price before this meeting so we
ma'am, I
can
can.
address it?
Because they run right at 2, 3, and if she only needs 4,
Well, also for one,
she only needs 4 heaters, right?
how many
Yeah,
tents you have altogether?
3. She decided not to do one.
Who is she?
I'm sorry. Sadie Sear for the Elks Club.
She said not to do what?
A tent. They're
Oh,
gonna
so
go
they use the
inside the building.
facility.
They can use the facility. They're
Okay.
going inside
All
the
right.
facility.
Okay.
You have tents where now?
We have a tent in Glen Allen, a tent in Tampa Road, a tent in Metcalf, and a tent at Buster Brown. Full. Not Arcola. No, I didn't say Arcola.
You gotta stand up, Ms. Davis. You can't.
Where?
Okay.
3.
What we'll do, Lee, check on the rental of those torpedo units, kerosene units. If not, we have to purchase the 3 and just keep them in the county. At this late date, we don't have a choice.
What about the ballots? We discussed this last year about printing off ballots. That was an
That's a
issue.
no-no.
Huh?
It's too late now. You can't do
It's
anything
too
but
late.
that's
I
a
mean,
no-no.
it's nothing we could do. Saturday was the last day. And I became aware because of a relative. That's it. Wouldn't have never known.
'Cause that was an issue last year, that we had some issues with that.
Consistently been an issue.
And we
So
said-
y'all had some people that did not vote in District
They
1?
voted, but they voted by print out ballots. When we had enough time to order if inventory had been taken care of, we could have ordered those ballots and they would have been here the very next day.
So are you saying that we don't have, well,
No,
You just said
that
for
was for
absentee ballots
absentee.
only.
It's over with now.
okay.
We're gonna get the attorney, and then we're gonna come to you. Ms. Brooks, go ahead. You finished?
Oh, no, I just want to get understanding. So so when people come in, they just print it off the, okay.
Speaking to your
Oh, I
mic,
didn't know it's kind
turn, can you turn it on? How about that, Mr. Redmond? The problem with those non-scannable ballots, you have to count them manually. They will not go through the machines, okay? So my question is whether or not we got sufficient staff to ensure, and you said that you learn about it Saturday, is that right?
Yes.
How many days did they use those scannable ballots, if you know?
I don't know.
Non-scannable, non-scannable.
I can say when it was asked on Saturday, 4 or 5 days.
So.
So you're looking at Monday to Friday or Saturday.
Conceivably, there could be up to 1,000 or so of those
Could be.
non-scannable ballots. And they may have to look at, Mr. President, members of the board, additional staff to assist in counting those non-scannable ballots. All of them go to the resolution board.
Yes.
However, you only have, what, 5 members of that board, is that right?
We actually have 13 in
You
all.
have 13? Then you should have sufficient staff to count those ballots. It may cause additional delay because you got to do them manually. And I understand the concern that everyone has, and I would agree that you ought to have scannable ballots, but you cannot disenfranchise voters by disqualifying those ballots or saying that they should not be counted. You got to count them, and you got to meticulously go through the process of ensuring that those people vote count. Okay?
I do have a question. With their resolution,
Let me get Ms. Hansel come right.
okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Nelson.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. 4,000 to 5,000.
Ms. Brooks.
Okay, so when the resolution committee, they will go over to 2 or 3 days if need be, or 4 days, whatever they need to complete the count. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Anything else? Oh, I'm sorry.
How did we get to that point, though? It seems like we should have, how did we get to that point where not having those ballots like we need them?
I can't answer that question. That would have to come from the
I
clerk.
guess how would the process go? Walk me through the process, how it should go to get those ballots, to make sure
You want
this
to
does
ask
not
me how
happen
I
again.
would do it?
Well, yeah, how it
Okay,
should be.
I would have done an inventory every day of what had gone out and what was left. And if it got to a point where I had no more than 100 ballots, I would have made a call to either the Election Commission office to go ahead and order some more. That's what I would have done. But I can't speak for our clerk because, you know,
I'm
she
just
probably had her
moving
own
forward. We
system.
need to, because we had
And
the same issue, you know.
I can't speak to that one.
Yeah, can you explain the ordering process for those ballots?
Generally, we get the number from the circuit clerk on the absentees, and we make the order. And if it runs low, just let us know. But generally, we have not run low in years that I've been there. This is the first time.
How many ballots did you order?
We actually ordered, in my district, I had 500.
Just, okay.
But I can't, I don't know
so
who else.
500 in one district is extremely low, considering the fact that approximately 6,000 to 7,000 absentee ballots have been cast, is that right?
It's a very low number, and generally we ordered probably around 100 because we had been printing out scannable ballots, unscannable ballots before. When we ordered the 500, it was probably almost the 1st of October when we got them. So we didn't expect that number to dwindle down as much. So I can't tell you how many we have at this point. I know 500 are scannable.
Ma'am, anyone else?
I also think that we also have to consider that the state is also responsible for
Yes, yes, they are.
there was some problem with the language in those initiatives on the ballot.
Yes.
The state has not released the ballot, so the state bears responsibility for some of this too.
I say 97%.
Okay, anything else?
What,
No.
were there any other concerns that you concerned about besides the absentee ballots?
No, I have no other concerns.
So everything's look okay for tomorrow?
Yes, from our foresight.
So the biggest concern on that is just sanitizing the precincts?
Yes, ma'am. And getting the heaters.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Mr. Griffin?
Ms. Thompson, have y'all discussed a security plan with the Washington County Sheriff Department yet?
No, we are planning to discuss that today.
And board, for these heaters, we're gonna need at least, I don't wanna put a number, but we're gonna spend at least another 2,500. That's units in the fuel.
Well, I just asked Ms. Thomas, could she get a number for us before this meeting so we won't go under?
Oh, no, you won't go under.
If we rent them, it won't be that expensive.
Yeah, but we gotta have fuel, but if they don't have them available, we gotta
It's
go
still,
buy
we
'em.
should nearby run over that, though, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, but 2,500 should be enough.
Yeah.
If it do, we have to we'll work it out.
I don't think you'll run over that number.
Yeah, we don't need approval, I guess, we gotta do to make it happen now this late day.
Mr. President, you may end up with some additional time from the Washington County Sheriff Department for security purposes.
And that's fine.
That has not been included in their budget.
Well, from my understanding, Mrs. Parker spoke with the sheriff and explained to him that they can use some of the funding with the COVID dollars they receive.
All right, we're gonna work that out too. Do I need to take this to 10,000? I just need approval for an additional $10,000 security.
For emergency
Anything.
purposes,
Yeah.
handling the election.
Anything, yeah, yeah.
I don't
So
think we can
moved.
do that.
I got a motion. And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Thompson, we're gonna get together real quick, today and get the heat squared away, make sure the lighting's squared away, security squared away.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk in a little while.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. That's got me sweating. Now, we have some additions, but we got a bid. What you wanna do? Yeah. All right, we got a bid at 10. We're going to the bid with the installation of camera system for the Washington County Correctional Facility.
Third company is called what? Wise, okay. All right.
Questions?
I think we need to turn those bids over to the sheriff department to make sure they meet the specifications, because the pricing is so different.
It might, anyone else, I'm sorry. Wait.
Did they have the same quote?
That's my motion.
Did they send the whole, did they send them all the same thing?
I was thinking that. I got one question, I'm sorry.
That's my motion.
Oh, no, we, yeah, they'll make a recommendation back.
Does that take a motion?
Huh?
Does that take a motion?
And
Just
leave
to
it-
review it?
Yeah, we know, yeah. Make a motion.
I got a motion to review by the sheriff department
Turn them over to the sheriff department.
for review and recommendation. I got a motion.
Second.
Lowest and best. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Mr. Miles? Yes, sir. We just, what's going on with this system? Why are we replacing or upgrading, what are we doing? And the reason I ask, I think we just spent 40, 50,000, a big number. And we did do a service contract? Does this been called for, I'm sorry, Tommy.
I have a question. In this specification, did it include a service contract? So why did we not include it in there? But you still would like to bid out the service contract as well.
She got it. You finished, Ms. Brooks?
I'm done.
And I share the concern that Brooke had, Chief Miles had, and, you know, and I'm familiar with this because we did, some cameras with West Hall Consolidated School District. And once the cameras were installed without a maintenance agreement, then, the maintenance, the service, the installer, after a certain period of time, will not come back, even though you want a contract without installing any cameras, so that they can start anew on a maintenance agreement. So we really need a maintenance agreement at the time of installation. Otherwise, you're not going, you may not get the same company, and they ain't gonna wanna come back, so that's problematic. Once that warranty runs out,
Yeah, but I think that's what Supervisor Brooks is saying. It should be part of this, because it's the service agreement, just like when we had those dump trucks. That was some kind of agreement that was in a part of the discussion. And if the service agreement is way up here on one, but the bid is here. So,
We just turn it over to them and let them come back with recommendations, because we may have to bid this out again. It depends on what kind of, and you know, we can call out to see what their numbers are. If their numbers are like really, really out there, we may just have to bid this out again.
but service agreements are detailed as far as the replacement equipment, miscellaneous parts and supplies, and just the availability of service, you know, within the area, 100 miles away, what that cost is for service.
Well, could it be a possibility, I guess it's for the attorney, could it be a possibility at this actual point in time, could we request,
Yes.
just a bid on these service
these are
agreements
bids.
along with that?
This
A
is
closed
actually
bid
bids.
on those, what they've already gave us, and just the
I'm
service
looking
agreement
for-
on that, so we don't have to rebid the whole job, just the service. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but I'm just saying, at this point, I'd like to move forward with that, not slow that process down to see if we could do that. Now, and again, I guess, do we have to actually, advertise it, or just request from the ones we've already got?
Yep, you can't advertise. Yeah, you can't advertise.
That's right, yeah.
You gotta get the specs, the agreements from these folks.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you could request them what the service
can't.
agreement would be from all three of them. On that, but not on the service agreement. Yeah. Because, what concerns me too, and I'm sure it's happening now.
They don't know.
But this is what, I don't even know if we need to be even talking about some of this in open meeting when it comes to security at jail, but, you know what I mean? What concerns me is, we've all been out there and toured the place, and we've seen.
I'm sorry, I have not toured it yet.
Well, I'm sorry.
I would like to
you
go on a
have
tour
not.
real soon.
Okay, well, everybody understands that. I'm trying to get to a point.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying, we know the needs out there, okay? Without specifying, exactly what they are. We know the needs. I do not want to delay this any longer than we have to. I think it's a possibility we can just request for service agreements. On that.
That's what we need to do. And we need to be kind of sensitive about this information, talking about the security system in the jail, Jay.
Yeah. That's right.
I know. I got you. We good. All right, so, we're gonna just have to request.
to them and you have to be bid
We're gonna postpone, take it on advisement?
Now, a motion was passed to turn it over to the sheriff department. That's what we did.
All right, so we'll get that, but what do you wanna do about the, contractual, the service agreement?
Should come back with a recommendation. The sheriff department.
All right, we got a motion and a second to, turn it over to the sheriff department and wait for their recommendation. All in favor, unless there's no more, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Miles, it's yours. You good? Ms. Hansel, anything else? All right, now, I can get back to the, items that were added to the agenda. Mark's here, he's gone. Yep. He's not here. He's not here yet. Well,
She added before I did.
wow.
I can be cool with you.
MEA, M3A, Ms. Brooks. Yeah, you want to go ahead, Ms. Brooks?
Sure. I gave everyone a, what do you call that? What
A
is
binder.
that? A binder about M3 Vertec. I've been talking about the facility across the shopping center across the street. I had a chance to meet with Mr. McElroy, and I talked to him about the facility. He did submit a contract, and I did turn it over to Attorney Griffin. In the contract, he gave us the pricing if we decide to move forward. But prior to moving forward, he's willing to come in, do renderings, do a price estimate to rehab that facility at $1, and it is in the contract.
And what would we, you talking about justice court in that facility?
Yes.
All right, good.
So
Right now,
well, we're looking at we're looking to purchase it. We got the price on the facility is $1.5 million, but also we're looking to, if we decide to buy the building, to find out exactly what it would cost to rehab that facility. And what we're looking to rehab is, number one, change the facade of the facade of the outside of the building, and also to rehab the super value building. And he would go in and look to see if we could put 3 courts in, because I did talk briefly to the judges to find out what they were looking at, but he would come here and go into more details, look at the facility, meet with the judge, identify what they're looking for, and he'll come back with a price and renderings of that facility for $1.
Anyone else? You know, right now, we have a standing board order to move forward with the purchase of property across the street. And we're going through making contact with those property owners. There are 5 properties in it that are state-owned, and hopefully we'll get them to give that to us free. But now if the board would like to go into in a different direction, please, let's not move forward on contacting those property owners and trying to purchase property to build a brand-new Justice Court Center.
Well, I think, why don't we just see, if he's gonna come in and do it for $1, why not find out? I mean, what can we lose at $1? Nothing. So that's my motion to allow, M3 to come in and do a rendering on their facility for $1 that's in the contract.
It's not for the dollar.
Yeah, but what's the impact? How much tax do you collect off that property?
Well, that's the thing about it. We need to go, once we get the pricing of the renderings, I have been in contact. I have someone to find out what everyone is paying in rent over there, and they really are paying rent over there. I don't want to break down their pricing right now. Once we get that rendering in, then I come back with you on what the pricing would be to rehab that facility and what the rent is coming in all those pieces and all those spaces over there.
What's pleasure? I got a motion.
She made the motion, I'm second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor to move forward with the rendering, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
I got 3. All opposed, nay.
Nay. And the reason being, I mean, I'll listen, I don't mind listening to it. My concerns with it would be, unless something changed my mind on, of course, the initial cost to buy the building. You know, we've got a lot of things, we still need to do a lot of bridges and things like that. But the other thing is, like Carl said, you know, we are drawing, you know, I mean, the city is, and the county, there are taxes due on that, and we do get some revenue off that. So I think moving forward, again, I'll always listen to that, but that would, at this particular point, my thought would be no on it. But if the board decides, you know, to listen, I'll be glad to sit in and listen also. But that's, moving forward, that would be my issues against it.
Timeline, Ms. Brooks, we can expect a rendering?
When we got the meeting, I give a call, and then hopefully we can have something by December.
Okay. Any other questions on this particular issue? If not, we'll move on to the next item. Mr. Hines, you're in. Come on up.
Morning.
My question for today, or bring to you guys, is the last time I come up, I was talking to you about the ATV training starting back up, and I let you know that the Mississippi State University had okayed us to start back the training, and I had to get permission from you guys to go ahead and start training. You did do it, but I was informed that I need to let you know a date that I would actually start my first class. I had to wait till ASI, which is the it's the Safety Institute of ATV Training. And I had to wait till they give me a date, and they gave me a date, and so I was informed Ms. Council that that date would be Saturday, this coming Saturday on the 7th. I just need permission to go ahead and do the training on the county grounds.
Which county grounds?
If the Warfield Point Park is open and that back area back there where they put the little fine white rocks, if it's cleared off, I do it there.
Have you checked it?
I had not. I have to get with Mr. Dunn. And if it's not, then I will use the behind the convention center. It's an area that I had used in the past.
I thought when you came, we agreed for you to start your ATV training.
Yeah, but I was told I needed to let you know the date that I would start doing it.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be the 7th.
It's going to be the 7th.
So move.
How many people can you train at a time? How many people to?
The maximum number I can train is 8. And they are fully dressed. I have turned in the waiver form from ASA and Mississippi State.
All right. But you say 8, so you tell us you got 10 ATVs running.
Uh,
You've got your hands on the safety equipment for 8 students.
No, they bring their own.
All right, but have you located the equipment that the county owns?
County don't own any equipment. Only county owns is the ATVs.
Stop.
Okay.
There are helmets and everything that go with those ATVs.
You-
Come on.
Okay. Now they bring the. I instruct. I don't have enough helmets for the kids, for the people that when I train them. So I advise them to bring their own. They wear their own equipment.
Okay. It should be enough gear to go with every unit.
It should be, yes, sir. It was purchased. It was.
Yeah, so have you all, you know you got 8 machines ready to go.
I have supposed to have 6 ready to go.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. What if a person want to bring their own four-wheeler?
But it must pass my inspection. I have to inspect it for the correct size of the machines that fit that person that's going to use. Everything must work. All brakes and lights must work.
Okay. And the reason why I asked this question, I was talking to the owner at Greenville Motorsports, and he was telling me that he's had the best year he's had in 18 years on selling ATVs. As a matter of fact, I was with some people that was purchasing about 4 of them, a family, and they were on back order. But the concern is, I think we really, really need to advertise this and let people know that, you know, we have this going on in Washington County, just for safety. And, you know, we need to try to advertise it some type of way on television, on the radio, you know, when that time starts.
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. It has been advertised in the past. I even
Okay.
had a training out to the convention center in the past. It's statewide. It's always advertised.
All right. I got a motion and a second to approve. I did. Gordon, I second. If there are no more questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry, Jerry. Motion carries. Okay, Jerry said let's get at it. Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Thank y'all very much.
And Scott Phillips still not here. Ms. Carter?
God gonna miss me.
Good morning. We have expended 9.5% of our budget through November 2nd compared to a plan of 16.66%. Our receipts deposited November 3rd, 2020 totaled $852,461.02. I am requesting board approval of our claims docket totaling $584,333.02.
Questions, comments, claims paid?
So move.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Ms. Carter, now, we talked about that one water bill for the road department, I think it was,
Yes,
and that's how much? 6,000 or what is it?
yeah, approximately 6,000 and something.
And the leak is repaired, right? Oh, yeah. The leak is repaired on the water leak, right, Mr.
Davis, because the last I spoke with him, it was not.
Oh, Lord. Ms. Perry? We had found a leak 2 weeks ago. Right, and that's not on our meter. We were what's on our side of the meter. It's $6,000.
But if it's on that side of the meter, it would be registered on that meter.
No.
If the leak's on that side.
I'm worried about the leak that's on our side.
Yeah.
All right, but you know,
No. What he's saying is, but it's past the meter. It runs through the meter, then the leak starts. So it's on our grounds?
nope. It's not on county property
Greenville been sending $30,000
at Pecan Grove.
Okay, well then
Yeah,
it
they
can't be
broke.
on that side of the meter, then if it's running through the woods, that's coming to us, right?
That's a service line.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's before our meter. So that shouldn't be registered. That $6,000 shouldn't be showing that. What I'm saying, we've got, if we're gonna have a $6,000 water bill, it's got to be on our meter somewhere.
Is it a leak or somewhere?
No.
Is it a leak
There
somewhere?
have to be a leak on the county side
Yeah.
of the meter.
Have y'all found anything like that? Any kind of leak on the, so that has nothing to do with our cost.
All right, we got to figure this one out.
Right, Don told me, he told me it was. He said
Was.
that when they went out there initially to look at it, that there was a leak on
The county
us.
side,
Yeah, that's
It's-
what Don told me.
and it's fixed.
No, as of last week when I spoke with Don, it was not fixed. So, I don't know, maybe that was a question for him today.
Well, that's the heartburn that I have. You know, we get these huge
Well-
numbers and we can't go back to the city to get them to reduce the cost. Because we hadn't fixed it. Because we hadn't fixed it.
But in the day, we still
But we
got a
still
bill,
have
and
to
we got to pay
it.
our bill, y'all.
And then we send a bill to the city and then they adjust it.
There's issues with their system, Ms. Brooks. And that's how we ended up with an $18,000, $16,000 bill. And Ms. Carter explained to them the adjustment. Oh, you on the phone. But on that one bill, they did say they're going to take off 10,000. Which we end up having to pay the additional 8,000.
Did they give a reason why they're taking the 10,000 off? They just being nice to us.
I think they're having some issues, just, you know.
Don said they are repairing it right now.
All right, let me tell you the issue they have.
So it is a drainage problem.
On our side
Of the meter.
of the meter. It's on our side.
The problem they're having is just like what they had in Jackson with the Siemens system.
Okay.
Where you know what I'm talking about? Where the transmitters from the units would transmit to a local station and send the numbers downtown, and they would send you a bill. They're having issues with the Siemens system, and it should run at least 96% or 94% efficient. It's less than 6.
Okay.
And the city of Jackson, they received their 90 billion, and they're dispersing it. Now, the city of Greenville has a student union as well. They may not tell us that. But the problem is with their system. That's why we're asking questions. What made them come up with the number 10,000? Don't know. Because there's absolutely no way that our bill for the last 18 months, at least on this account, one account, Ms. Carter, tell me if I'm wrong, has been $33 and change a month.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what was the
That's correct.
bill prior to this?
$33 and change a month. All of a
Now-
sudden, you got hit.
Now, I got one other question. Do you think now, because we had the problem in Leland, we had some problems where the employees they were just giving them a regular pay and not checking. Once we got our meters changed out, it was so much that, to put it this way, a lot of people's meters were not being read, and they really did owe this water, and they had to pay in Leland. I mean, we just couldn't waive all that money off in Leland. There was some people that had $1,000 water bill. It's because some of them had dogs you couldn't get to it, so the city was just giving them a set rate every month. But when we changed our meters where we had where you can mobile get the meter read through a vehicle, they had to pay the bill. So my only concern is, do you think it could be possibly a situation where the meter was not working and was not read properly?
Well, the meter was working, but there's an issue with the transmission of the signal.
Somewhere with their software.
Yes.
Okay.
It hadn't been calibrated. They've broken relationships with Siemens. So nobody comes in and periodically service this system. So that's why I say the calibration's off. And it's not running as high of an efficiency as it should without being serviced.
We need to get on.
Can't, huh?
We need to get on from this issue.
No, let me tell you why. You got $6,000 out there you owe now. They didn't pay you from last year.
Yeah.
And you have a fiduciary responsibility with an oath you took to make sure you manage taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
You just can't let them take money.
They are not going to. This is going to work out when they read the meter. They out there now
Oh,
fixing
talking-
it.
We're not talking about that one right now. That's a $6,000 bill.
Oh.
And once we, Don say it's fixed, we'll make contact with the water department. We'll get a 50% adjustment.
Yeah. that's
Okay?
fine.
We're
Yeah.
gonna work that one out.
Okay.
But that's how we got to where we are. And, I don't know what made them say, I'm gonna take 10,000 off and let you pay all this. And I'm not gonna even consider the 6,000 we owe you from last year.
Now, I'm gonna say this right now. We owe it. We need to pay it. I'm just saying, if we owe, we do need to pay.
But if you don't
Because I'm
owe
not
it-
trying to finagle nobody out their water.
But if I send you a bill $33 a month for 12 months, all of a sudden I send you one 500 times that amount.
I was just asking, maybe it was misread. I don't know, but I want to be fair as well. Now, whatever we owe, we need to pay.
And we have. That's the problem. You've paid this one. My thing was, you got a $6,000 bill now. If you pay that one, you will not get it back.
True. Clear, so let's go on next time. True.
But what I'm saying also, a $6,000 water bill, that you should have seen some water out there somewhere
That's
during this
right.
time. It shouldn't have
Should've
went on,
been Lake Michigan
shouldn't have went on
out
this long. If that's the case, we should have noticed that by then.
And
We should've
that
had some
problem,
water.
if it is, that problem falls on the county.
That,
We should've,
but
but-
we can, what you're saying is, let's get it fixed and see if they're gonna give us any adjustments.
Let's get it
Yeah.
fixed, let them make the adjustment, then we'll pay. Instead of we sitting here hoping they'll give us the money back.
Yeah.
That's why I said it worked.
That's the way I'd like to work it out, not pay this bill, get the leak fixed, approach them for the adjustment, get the adjustment on the next bill, then.
Do we have a motion on the floor? Make a motion that we pay the claims docket,
Second.
hold the water bill until we get it fixed and see if they give us an adjustment and pay the adjustment if there is any.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Wow.
I know. Requesting that county offices are closed on Thursday, November 26th, and Friday, November 27th, in observance of the Thanksgiving Day holiday, and on Thursday, December 24th, and Friday, December 25th, for the Christmas holiday, and Thursday, December 31st, and Friday, January 1st, 2021, for the New Year's Day holiday.
So moved.
You getting that in early.
I've got a motion to pay out for all 6 days. The only heartburn, Jerry telling me to be quiet, okay. I got a motion on the second. Ms. Carter, do we take off Veterans Day? Are we working?
Do we do what now?
Veterans Day, November.
Veterans Day, we are off. I've already gotten that one approved.
All right, everybody good on the holidays? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, even though New Year's Eve is not a holiday.
It's a holiday. It's official
The
holiday.
Secretary of State is giving that off. Okay. The City of Leland is requesting to use a bulldozer, track hoe, and a grader to put in covers on Hill Street at a dog pound. It needs the board approval.
So moved, thank you.
Second, give me a second.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Also, I just want to go back. A while back, we talked about getting, I don't know what the device is called, like we get a lot of water, we can move it. Where are we on that?
Camelback.
We most definitely need to get that. I saw it in Leland when we had this really big rain. I got to give it to Mr. Perry and the other gentleman. I can't think his name. Was it Clay? Clay. They really came in. They helped the city of Leland with the drainage in a residential neighborhood. And it was more so just when they built those houses, they didn't have any drainage there at all. And people had been dealing with flooding for, many, many years. And so what's going to take place is they found a way to drain the water out. It's in the Black Dowell community, but drain it out and go to another ditch. So, but I'm saying this to say, I'm sure across the county, we do need that situation because we had one lady who had just got to the hospital. She had COVID. She had been in the hospital for 2 months. She was very ill, and the water was going into her house. And so we need to make sure we get that just for the county, the camel thing. What do you call it? A camelback, because situations where we run in where people may receive flooding in their home and it hadn't got in, we need to be able to try to help our citizens as much as we can.
Do we have one ourselves? I know we told y'all to get one at one time. We got 2 of them. We own 2 of them now? Right. Yeah.
What?
Camelbacks to transfer water. Because I like them because you can just move them real easy and,
Come on.
Okay, the only other thing I have is a request from the Sheriff's Department, and this is a letter that needs to be signed by the board president, and it's to authorize the Washington County Sheriff's Department to apply for funding from Walmart and the Walmart Foundation for the betterment of the community. This is dealing with the shops with a cop for children. They already have one for children, but Walmart is requesting that they have one for the senior citizens.
So moved.
And second, all in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I'm done.
you're done?
Whatever happened with the property leases, not leases, but appraisals, I'm sorry. We were getting one in Hollandale,
I wasn't told to do that.
Fraser, what you doing?
the appraisal on the property down at Britain.
Oh, Rick.
That's you?
That's him.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Carter, I thought. good?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips? Mr. Christensen, would you come up, unless y'all not together?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here on October the 5th. You guys approved the bid for the agricultural lease for Delta Regional Medical Center. The Board of Trustees at its regular board meeting accepted the bid, approved it, and authorized the execution of the lease. I'm just here back to report to you that the Board of Trustees has done that and asked for authority for this board to execute the lease.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Supervisor Gordon, second Supervisor Benson. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else? Go ahead.
All right. So it's, appreciate the opportunity to come back again, of course. It's hard to believe it's been another quarter, but of course I'll give a brief update on how the hospital's doing and what we're experiencing and the financials and everything we're going through. So I'll try to be pretty brief, but today I've got a quick update on financials. The second thing, talk about how the rest of the Delta's doing from a healthcare standpoint, sort of a what's next item, and then the last thing will be a new project that we're thinking about working on. So please stop me if you have any questions as we go along, but I'll dive right in here. So financially, if you think about the year for the hospital, of course, you know, you hate to blame COVID or use COVID for a lot of different excuses or different things that happen, but the reality is, if you think about a lot of the different organizations, whether you're on the front lines or not, the argument for the hospital being in the thick of it is certainly relevant and there. If you think back to March and April and the shutdowns and the stopping elective procedures and everything that happened, we got hit pretty hard, just like every hospital across the country, in terms of shutting down elective procedures and really focusing on the task at hand. You know, we do about $9 to $10 million in revenue a month, and in April, that dropped down to $3 million in that month. So you can see the dramatic decrease that we've seen. And since then, it's been a roller coaster. You know, we have seen a lot of patients come back for their elective procedures. You know, we really try to make it a safe environment for patients to either come to the ER. I know we've seen our ER volume drop off. I think people were, you know, hesitant and maybe scared and kind of, you know, still trying to understand a little bit more about the virus. But given that roller coaster, you know, I think we've weathered that storm, I think, just as good as any other hospital. And I'd really put our staff up against anybody, in fact. You know, as you may know, we did not get a PPP loan this year. We were too big of an organization to get that. But hospitals did get recognized financially. CMS and HHS and the federal authorities really stepped up in the beginning back in March and April to, you know, make hospitals whole and distribute enough money for them to survive and weather these storms. You know, since March, we've probably spent close to $8 million on COVID alone. And so that's mostly on top of some of the normal operations and things that we do. So it's been a pretty significant impact to us financially. Given that HHS money we've received and things, that has helped hospitals sustain and all the different hoops and reporting requirements you have to jump through. Financially, we're okay. You know, I don't see really any major issues there if we keep doing kind of what we're doing and run hospitals efficiently and effectively like we should. So this year, the bottom line that we're going to post preliminary with before audited financial statements, and that's an important distinction to make because the guidance is changing almost daily on how you report COVID money on your financials and different things. This year we're going to post a little over $3 million bottom line, which is pretty good for us. That's a good year. That's a little over 3%, and if you've kind of heard me at other meetings and talks that I've given, any business really in hospitals, importantly, you really try to get over a 4% bottom line. So 3%, while it sounds great and it's good and hospitals making money, you want to try to have a good margin so you can invest back in your people and the infrastructure and the facilities and some of those things. So, but again, that's preliminary financials. I'm sure the guidance from our auditors will change on how we can kind of calculate different COVID monies in and out of that number. Overall, if you take some of that out, a pretty good year for us. We ran the hospital pretty efficiently from a financial standpoint. So what does that mean for the second item, the rest of the market? If you take a look at what we've done through the year and kind of where we're going, you know, we expect COVID to be here for a long time. And, you know, there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties with, you know, what that means for hospitals, whether we're seeing a new spike or a new surge or some of those things. I will say, Washington County, while it is sort of trending up a little bit, it's not quite like the rest of the state seeing from a spike standpoint. So we're not quite worried yet like we were back in June and July. If you look around the rest of the Delta and compare yourself to some of the other hospitals, we are by far the best off from a financial standpoint. We're the strongest. We have the best balance sheet and best financials around. We've got the largest medical staff and provide the most advanced clinical services around the Delta. So while other hospitals, you know, may continue to struggle, we feel that opens up the door for us for a lot of different roles to play across the entire Delta. I'll use the residency as an example. Hopefully everybody knows about the family practice residency and the 7 bright individuals that have come on to receive their training here. That program is an 888, so we can get 9 next year and another 8 the third year. Those family medicine residents we really see as the solution to primary care in rural areas, especially the Delta. When that program's up and going, we really anticipate family medicine residents going out into different communities across the Delta, not just Greenville, to provide primary care and some of those services. So we really see that from a growth standpoint as a good option for us. You know, when we look around, we can keep doing what we're doing, right, and run an efficient and effective hospital and take care of business. But we'd really like to, you know, have that growth mindset in mind and always keep that at the forefront if we can. So what's next coming up? You know, we've spent a few years making sure, like I've said, the hospital is solid financially and on a good footing. And so now it's time to invest in infrastructure and those different growth things. You know, whether it's raises for employees and some of those things, investing in your biggest asset, which is your people, is important. But I think everybody knows the aging facility, and hospitals all across the country are aging, and whether it's all of the mechanical and electrical issues, the structural issues, or whether it's cosmetic, like private rooms and the different things in each patient room. I think it's really time and important for us to focus on infrastructure here going forward and shoring up an aging facility that we've got in front of us. In the same mindset, from a growth standpoint, serving more patients in different communities, it's time to be a leader across the Delta, and hopefully that's reflected through the name change and some of the different initiatives we've got coming up, whether it's clinics, hospitals, how we can partner with these other communities to provide the best service we can. We really see that as a growth prospect for us, so we feel good about it. And then the last thing that I'll mention today, this is really in the initial phases, but we've always tried to be a leader and innovative when it comes to COVID. And if you remember, you think back to March, we were one of the first in the state to do the drive-through testing and a lot of different things as an example. And so what we'd like to start and take a look at is a post-COVID clinic. And so what we're seeing, and this is, I think they're trying it in New York and maybe some different major metropolitan areas, but you know, patients that have had COVID, making sure that there's no lingering effects, whether it's respiratory or heart conditions or any of those issues. A clinic dedicated just to seeing patients that have had COVID and maybe want to get checked up and take a look at themselves and just make sure the long-term effects we've got a good handle on. So I said I'd be brief. I feel like may have spent my time here, but I'll certainly answer any questions.
I know at one point y'all had a ward open just for COVID patients, and it was closed due to just didn't have any patients in it. Then I think maybe you reopened it at one point or not. Well, my question is it reopened now, and how many COVID patients do you have?
Yep, we opened the respiratory ICU, is what we call it, the RICU, for a short period of time. That can handle an additional 8 to 10 COVID patients. We haven't had that open since that initial time. We haven't had to resurge kind of back up with that. To give you kind of a perspective, of course, the volume goes up and down, but we maxed out at about 50 patients. This is back in June, July, about 50 patients in the hospital with COVID. And that's pretty significant volume in the hospital. And that's through different places, ER, ICU, regular units and things. Today, and for the past probably month and a half maybe, we've been right around 10 to 15 patients in the hospital at any given time. Half of those are in the ICU and the other half are on a regular floor. And we haven't really seen that number tick up a lot. You know, I didn't check this morning, but I would guess it's in the 10 to 15 range in the hospital. So it's nothing like we'd experienced a few months ago.
Any other questions?
I have a question. What is the process the hospital uses when it decides that it's no longer going to accept certain medical insurance coverage? And what's the impact on the local community?
Yeah, I think you may be referencing some of the managed care products that we've been taking a look at. I know that was recently a thing we took a look at. When we try to have contracts that, you know, are fair and reimburse the hospital, and a lot of times there's really a lot of contracts out there that are not advantageous to the medical center, and really the insurance companies, they take the premiums and you struggle to get paid, and you may not get paid even close to what Medicare pays and some of those things. We go through a pretty detailed process to determine, all right, you know, what's paid for these services and what's not. And then eventually that decision, you know, is made both on a financial basis, of course, that's important, and then understanding, all right, how many patients may or may not have that plan or product in the community. If you're referring to the recent managed care plans that have been out there, you know, I believe we sent a communication out saying, look, you know, as it relates to whether it's Part A, B, D, or whatever the case may be, traditional Medicare is always there. And we get paid pretty well on traditional Medicare. So the more patients that are on, you know, just straight Medicare instead of those Medicare Advantage plans is a good thing for us. So it's a pretty detailed process that we go through to make sure, you know, all the variables are taken a look at.
You know, glad Ms. Hansel brought that up, Scott, because, you know, one of the questions I was going to ask is pretty much along the same line, because I don't know if the other board members are getting these calls or not, but people who are saying that they do have some form of insurance, but the hospital has changed the plan and they can no longer go to Delta Region. Now, as citizens of Washington County, they're having to go elsewhere to find health care because of decisions that were made around what insurances would be accepted and which ones wouldn't. How do you all take a look and find out, when you're making that decision, what's best for the overall community? You know, one of the things I do hate to hear is how it's about patients always being transferred out, people being denied service. That's extremely concerning.
Yeah, and what's unfortunate is, you know, in that decision, I believe one of the recent insurance companies sent a letter to all of their patients in this area saying that they could go to Greenwood or Cleveland or Jackson or something like that, and Delta Regional would no longer take those patients.
Humana or something like that?
It was Humana, yeah.
Humana.
And you know, simply that's just not true. And hopefully we were clear enough. That initial letter came as a surprise to us. Hopefully we were clear enough in a follow-up letter. We sent a letter with my name on it outlining exactly the real situation and how that's not true. You know, you can still come see your provider in Greenville, whether it's orthopedics or primary care or whatever else may be. Hopefully our follow-up letter cleaned all that up. If we need, sounds like we may need to do some more education and communication about
I just got this call last
the
week.
details. Yeah, we can take care of that.
Anyone else? According to him, no. They're under the impression that they are going to be turned away. But we've got to do a better job of communicating, because there's a huge number of people out there thinking, because I have Humana, I cannot get service at Delta Regional. So that needs to be fixed, and, you know.
Yep, we'll make sure to clean up the communication, absolutely.
Anything else?
I have a question. When you talked about the family medical program, I was wondering how many of those doctors normally stay after they do their time here?
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons we did that. Studies show about 60% of doctors stay where they train. And so I'll give you an example. If you follow that first class through, the first 7, in their second year, they'll continue to get training. The third year, they continue to get training. And all along that time, hopefully, we, along with other organizations across the Delta, are getting to know those individuals from a doctor standpoint, and we can court them from a recruitment, perspective to stay in the Delta. And so a lot of those studies show that wherever you train, you stay afterwards and set up practice. And statistically, it's about 60%.
Do they get any type of incentives for staying here? Do y'all have a program where they get additional incentives in this area, like with housing or anything like that?
Yeah, and what's good about what we can do is we can be flexible with any of that. Traditionally, the thing that doctors, when they get out of school like that, ask for the most is school loan repayment, and we do that. We have no problem with that. And it's all kind of tailored to the individual with what they want. Housing's not a problem. Any stipends or relocation costs, I know we pay for, and some of those things. So not a problem at all, and we're able to be nimble and flexible enough to give them what they want depending on the individual.
My other question is, you were talking about the hospital being old and projects you have to do to keep it up. Are you looking at any new renovation projects or any additional additions coming up in the future?
Absolutely we are. The biggest thing that we are really taking a hard look at, when I mentioned growth or infrastructure, from the infrastructure standpoint, it's time to update all of our patient rooms and our med-surg units. And whether it's COVID funds or anything else like that, it's a process getting architects involved in some of those things. I'll give you an example. One of our units has about roughly 30 rooms on it per se, and you're looking at maybe $30,000 a room to upgrade to all the nice things that you need in a room. Look back and take a look at all the air handler units for that unit, the mechanical, the electrical, the boilers, chillers, all that stuff. But it comes out to about $30,000 a room. If we can get all of our med-surg units done, we're looking at about a $3 million project. So we're in the very, very initial stages with that. The key I will say there is when we go down this path at the appropriate time, it's going to be crucial to get the nurses and the housekeepers and the techs and everybody that's involved in patient care part of the design process of the room, so that they can provide efficient and effective care. Not only good cosmetics and aesthetics for the patient, but it's a good workflow process for our employees. So when the time comes, we'll make sure to loop everyone in.
Anyone else? Scott, I want to say thank you for your assistance with the flu shot the other day.
Yeah.
We didn't get the numbers that we had hoped. Extremely disappointing, but just to know that you all are willing to work with us to try to do what we can to keep our workforce safe, healthy, and at work.
Whatever you need. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks. Ms. Hampton, anyone else? Are we missing? Bob, before he leaves.
Yeah, City of Arcola, I met with the mayor, and she got a couple of dishes that she wanted us to clean up with the crack hole, the little crack hole. And like every other municipality that we have, they always send a letter. And I'm just requesting through the mayor and through Mr. Benson.
While he sleep, let's go ahead and approve. While he sleep.
I'm making a motion that we go and clean the dishes.
I got a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Yeah, Arthur, what happens with the material that you take out? If we dispose of it, they do, you got somewhere to put it or what?
On what?
Did you clean that, mop that ditch out? Where do you take it? You just can't leave it on the bank or in the.
Oh, no, we have a place to take it to. We got a place to take it.
All right.
Yeah.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That was.
Do we really need the letter or go and get it?
Well, we're trying to get in a situation where we're doing it properly, so I'd say,
Yeah.
moving forward, because that's just what, you addressed, you know, just like it.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, I get it,
yeah.
okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll work it
Yeah,
out.
I'll
We'll
go
get it
down.
to Ms. Carter.
I'll go down there and
We'll
get
work it out.
started for you.
All right, good enough. Anything else?
Ms. McGee, I need to add another item to the agenda. The driver for Mr. Supervisor Benson. The driver for Mr. Supervisor Benson. It's on the agenda.
We gotta talk about it. Go ahead.
But I'd like to add that to the agenda. So move.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion, that's the addition of a driver for Mr. Benson, which I thought we had resolved. But it doesn't. Yeah, okay. It's on you.
Board members, this morning you have from the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, a letter that's directed to Mr. McGee and the Board of Supervisors. As you may be aware, each county is annually allocated a grant amount under the local solid waste assistance grant fund administered by the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. And based on the total available funds, Washington County allocation for the state fiscal year, July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, has been determined to be $14,656.33. And your county will have until April 30th, 2021 to submit an application to NDEQ to be awarded these funds for this state's fiscal year. So that form is completed. And I guess, have we already done that, Talisa?
I'm sure we have, did it say what grant it was? Did it say what grant it was? We have like two solid waste grants.
It just says solid waste grant. That's all it says.
Does it give an amount?
The amount is $14,656.33.
That ain't even the tires. I don't know what that is. It's too small. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Big solid waste enforcement, and that is taken, we've already done something with that one too. So I may need to have that one, but I can contact,
Find out what that is.
yeah, find out.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Board members, you also received a letter from, Office of Attorney Lonnie Braxton II. This was a letter that was actually sent certified, looks like his date is October 5th, he says 2019. I'm sure it was 2020, but this was in reference to one of the parcels that, Ms. Moore had on her list and scheduled for a hearing. And this is the letter. In whom it may concern, this letter is a reply to our letter dated September 24th, 2020, concerning property located on Neola Circle and listed in the city of Greenville. I have reviewed section 21-19-11 Mississippi Code, and I dispute the issues raised. Under ordinary circumstances, it would be my intent to attend and participate in the hearing scheduled for October 19th. October already had the hearing at 9 a.m. However, due to the COVID-19 virus pandemic, it is impossible as well as highly unsafe for me to attend. I'm presently in Connecticut, and it is required, and crossing such state lines would require me to be quarantined. Once this issue of the pandemic has been sufficiently addressed, it is my intent to come to Mississippi and address any issues concerning the property located at Leola Circle.
Leola Circle.
That's right there off Highway 82. It's my district.
Where at?
If you pass Stokes King, and I believe just before you get to, before you get to Stokes King, it's gonna be over here on the, yeah, you got Gurdon Road, that little circle, that little end right at Gurdon Road. There's an abandoned trailer over there, been there, and it's horrible. We have a lot of problem with dumping back in that hole, but but it's an effort to start getting that cleaned out. Oh, it's terrible. People right here on the corner just remodeled and did addition on their property and everything else, but they gotta look at the eyesore when they come out. It's terrible.
Yeah, it ain't like it just started, you know, yeah.
No, just like a big thing.
So, do we need to take any action on that, or?
We'll keep them in the process and move it on.
Yeah, I would think you need some type of response that, you know, we reviewed it and we feel no need to prolong this any, you know, further.
I'm pretty sure there's a standard letter that is more sense to them in response. Hopefully it is. If not, I'll get with her and we'll put something together.
Okay.
And my other concern is, I understand what she's saying with COVID. She could have easily sent an email or made a phone call, or this letter could have came before this date. So it was sent to her certified, and you wait to send it after we've had the meeting, the hearing. So I think we need to just continue to move forward and not cater to letters after the hearing.
They need to clean the place up.
Oh, they need to clean it. That's gotta be cleaned up.
They had to clean mine.
Yeah, we'll respond back. That's the pleasure of the board. Motion, second.
No, we don't have to take no action, do we?
We just to respond to tell them they need to
I
move
got
forward.
Okay,
Yeah.
so moved.
Yeah, second.
Probably all in favor, show by sign of aye. Motion
But
carries.
as far as the process moving forward,
Yeah.
we just respond and tell them we're moving forward.
Right. It's gonna be interesting to see, because the lady passed away from cancer, then the gentleman who lived there had cancer. In some kind of way, she was saying she was some distant relative of mine.
I move that we spread that across the minutes. I said I move that we spread it across the minutes. I made a motion just to spread across the minutes.
Second. Spread across the
Properly
minutes.
moved and seconded, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I know she was smiling. So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Oh, go ahead.
And let me just explain, we had drafted an order to get that done. Then I got called. Well, I went over to the Hanson's office, and then was told that they wanted to rescind it, so I asked them to submit a letter to the court, a letter in their minutes, indicate that it was their decision to do that. That letter is the Hanson that, brought to the boardroom. It was critical that they took responsibility for it because they were the ones who requested it. Not the board. So, and I do want to point out that there has been tremendous adversity gone out on the radio and otherwise, and on a daily basis. And even this morning, the radio and still advertising, and then there were other notices sent out to ensure that the community is aware that the Elks Club is still at the precinct. In addition to that, there will be some things that they will be doing on election day to ensure that the voters are aware that that precinct is still the active precinct. Because that was a real concern. Because, you know, the newspaper published it, Mr. President, members of the board, the next, a couple of days later, that the precinct had been changed. Okay? Then some stuff went out on, I'm told, on some radio, even, of the change. So, so it was critical, and that be done, a continuation of it to ensure these voters are made aware.
All right, motion to rescind that original motion to relocate the polling precinct.
You got a motion and a second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for the evaluation.
That was to, yeah, to call, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. We gonna look at it. I just spoke with Chief Miles about it, and I'm gonna talk to Chief Miles and Sheriff to make a decision on what the recommendation ought to be. And we'll have something like soon. But I'm frank, I have some concerns with the current use that we're using. So, and we'll look at it.
All right.
Okay. So moved to.
Second.
We got the motion and the second to adopt all documents into the minutes. And I got one more left, we'll do it anyway. That's the sheriff part with you. And all the reports, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, that's unanimous. Supervisor, that's valid. That's it for you? No, ain't no executive session. I'm gonna get you to tell us about this, visit code. Yeah. Hold up, man. I'm sorry, Mr. Mott.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Where you go? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let me get Ms. Miles. And then we're gonna get your report.
Ready?
Yep.
Good morning, board.
Morning.
The sheriff's requesting to send 2 people to the American Heart Association CPR instructor course.
Where is it?
It's gonna be here, done here in Greenville.
Okay.
So moved.
2 people, yes, 2 people.
So moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. Questions?
I do have one. What about, I'd like to get certified as a CP, just to do CPR. I mean, 'cause I think everybody should know how to do that. I just want to get certified to be able to do it. Then they can come and teach, okay, that'll be good. All right. I don't want to be instructor, but I do want to learn it.
All right, I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and hopefully you'll open up classes for individuals who would like to
Yeah.
receive that training from the certified trainer. Thanks.
Okay, the sheriff also want to bring to the board attention in reference to the lunacy court order patients and the paperwork and the bills are coming to the sheriff's department. And they maybe should, they need to, since it's coming from the chancery clerks, from the chancery court, maybe it should be going to the chancery clerk or to the county administrator instead of coming to us. Instead of coming to us. Because it could cause confusion with
What's the
that.
normal process, Ms. Hanson? Lunacy documents, the minutes.
You know, when the patients go to the hospital, the lunacy patients, when they're court ordered through the courts, they're sent to to solutions. I mean, the bills are coming to us.
The bills?
The bills come to us. I know, but it's caused confusion. It should come to one of you all instead of coming to us. Yes, ma'am.
Some of them, what I do is I make sure that we do have a record of the lunacy case, and then I just send them over to accounts payable, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But those other ones, Tony, maybe you can speak to that because I don't know what else is going on out there.
Well, all I know is that it's creating conflict even with my accounts payable person because she's constantly having to call Delta Regional because we're getting paperwork from everywhere. You guys, your office, and she has to constantly call Delta Regional to figure out how much is the bill or is the insurance paying this? That's not her job to do. She's just supposed to be able to get the bill from wherever and process it. She doesn't know how long they've been in or how long they've done this. That's not for her to know. So it's a mess.
I have a quick.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as the insurance is concerned, sometimes they send documents, because I read those documents. They are sending us requests for payments for people who have insurance. They should not be doing that, and that's part of the problem. They're now sending us requests for bills from 2017, and the position that I have taken is this. 2017 gone 3 years ago. Why has it taken them so long to send those bills? The county's budget is over with for that year. So there is a real problem with this, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Wilson, when she was here, we had meetings to discuss with them what was going to be paid for the lunacy, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a $400 that's a pre-hearing cost that the Chancery Court pays, okay, for those lunacy hearings. Now, if the individual does not have insurance, then the county pays that, and the county pays the Medicaid rate, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So now, all of this other stuff that's going on over there is not something we are responsible for. When you talk to the people from the insurance office of Delta Regional, they say that they were short of staff, now they got a lot of people. Well, that may be the case, but they should not be sending us these bills that are 2 and 3 years old. We should not be taking care of that.
I do have a question. Do you think y'all are they're sending the same bill 2 times to you and also to you guys? agree. I agree.
What do we need to do to resolve?
Can I say this right here? Also, whoever picks them up, I think y'all do keep a record of everybody you pick up and you take. Right. The only cause the only concern is I can see them sending it to y'all just to make sure it's the right people. We don't want to be in a situation that. So they do they. Well, I'm gonna say. Let me phrase this. Let me say this again. I think before it goes to accounts payable, it needs to be confirmed that we did actually take those people there. Not that we just paying bills and going straight to account payable, and account payable can't confirm if we actually did this or not.
I think the part of the confusion is, and I said this to Delta Region, they're sending too much paper. They sent me an insurance, a health claim form that indicates that that person has been there. Then they follow up with another form that tells me that they've sent it to their insurance company. Okay. Then their office gets a bill. Okay. What we do when we did it is we verified that those individuals are people who've been to the lunacy court.
Right.
Okay. And we already know how much the county's gonna pay. We also give them the date, the court date, and the date that the judge uses in order for them to go to the state hospital.
Okay, come on. But I got you.
So if they're at the hospital, when they come to court, there's a pre-hearing cost of $400 there. If the judge rules that they go to the state hospital, they go back to Delta Region. State hospital calls us 2 days later and say they're ready for it. So the county is only responsible for those 2 days. Beyond that court, beyond that court order.
I think the next thing needs to take place is that the county may need to send a corresponding letter back to Delta Region asking them not to give them the correct address they need to send it to instead of sending it to the sheriff department if all they're doing is just dropping off and really not officially keeping up with the lunacy patients. But it's still patients.
Oh, not exactly. Over a year's time, how much do we spend with the hospital? Just roughly. $20,000, $100,000. Okay. Well, my point is this: is how important a part of that we are. What we need. It sounds like we need a representative to come here to sit down with Charlisa, Ms. Hansel, the sheriff. We need to get this organized because it sounds like we've had some discussion in the past and it hadn't gotten us anywhere. So as big a customer as we are for Delta Regional, I'm sure that if we request somebody to get this fixed once and ever. We're just sitting here listening. You're listening to it just like, hey, we're lost on this. This is between y'all. So we need to get them here, but I'm sure that if we request somebody, they can come and sit down and see how we need to do that works for Washington County. That would be the best, I think, solution.
I don't think. Now they don't need to come to the board. I think they need to meet with them. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
You're absolutely right. No.
Yeah.
We'll get the primaries together.
But that needs to happen, and because it sounds like it's just kind of going around.
I'll facilitate it, but I won't be there either.
Okay.
I think that we have to make sure that Delta Regional understands because we get all kinds of paperwork. I'm going to give you one example. I was talking to a new person over there who's handling insurance last week. I got a claims form from a lunacy, one of our lunacy commissioners. Young lady had gone to see Paul Jackson, the gynecologist. That's not the county's responsibility. So, once they label that person as a court-ordered individual, we're getting all kinds of bills. That's not Washington County's responsibility. We're not responsible whether or not that person is pregnant or not. We're doing a lunacy commitment, okay? So I just want you to understand what the confusion is over there. They're sending us all kinds of, we get bills from the Delta Regional, we get bills from the Delta physicians.
And if you don't catch those, we ain't no telling what we may pay if we're not catching those bills. You're right. Yeah. So.
Okay. We'll make some phone calls and try to set up a meeting with the principals and get this resolved.
So 164,000 is what we spent last year with this. So they'll listen to what, I mean, we need to.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Miles?
Yes, sir. This is the last thing. The sheriff's requesting, to get David Burford them to run cable for our radio system, to record our portable radio traffic. When we put radio traffic out on the radio, to record that also. So, and it can be paid through E911 monies. But David Burford them can do it.
Okay.
But it had to be approved by the board, because it's gonna come out that fund.
Y'all have already discussed this with them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The sheriff already discussed it with him.
So moved.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, one more motion, but we finna wrap this up. We're finna close it out. I need a motion to adopt the report into the minutes, Sheriff Department.
So moved.
And second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Motion carries. Oh, hell. I forgot you.
Recommend renewal. I'm good with that. They gonna pay 1/3 of their taxes.
Explain to him what you're talking about. But we gotta get his lease done.
Yeah. If you look at, 1 point, since, Mr. President, since it was not negotiated, the payment will be, 1/3 of the school. The statute provides that you have to collect a minimum of 1/3 of school and county taxes under a payment in lieu. Lump sum that has to be paid by February 1st of the year, the commencement year. The commencement year will not begin until they actually start their commercial activities as a solar unit, okay? Now, and I don't know when that's gonna happen. This also has to be approved by MDA as well. Now, one of the things that troubled me, that the language in there that said, and I don't know what county gonna benefit, but the benefit to the county, because this solar stuff, come on, gonna be sold out of state. We all know this. I doubt any of it, this energy be realized within Washington County or in the state of Mississippi. However, because the statute say you can do it, they pledge the commitment of a minimum of $10 million in investment in Washington County, which will be taxable. The property is not, has minimum tax now because it's zoned agricultural property. It will be rezoned industrial properties, which means that you will realize a greater tax, benefit from it. That is the only benefit I see to Washington County in reality will be you'll have taxable income from it. And you can collect 1/3 of the actual tax once it's assessed by the tax assessor. You collect up to 1/3 of minimum 1/3, and and like I said, there was no negotiation of a lump sum, and it's been difficult for you to negotiate a lump sum with them unless you had the tax assessor to come in and say, well, the tax liability will be $20,000, and then you can say, okay, I want 10,000 of that 20,000. But since you don't have an actual number, the minimum is 1/3 that you can obligate them to, and I recommend you go ahead and obligate that 1/3.
So what are you asking for us today, an approval?
Yes, of the agreement, subject to MDA approving it as well.
That's the next step.
So moved.
Yes. 1/3 tax on, the property will continue at its current tax rate until they actually get in the position of start their commercial business. At that point, the tax rate will increase based upon the assessed value as determined by your tax assessor. What that assessed value is, the county will be entitled to 1/3 of the assessed value, and not the whole assessed value. That includes school tax as well. Commencement, the commencement of the business is when they actually start operations, okay? Once they get out there and they construct what they need to start operation, from the date of commencement, yes.
The new rate, yeah.
Sir?
The new rate.
Right, the new
Agricultural.
rate, yes.
Yeah.
The other rate is based on agriculture property.
Right.
Yeah, right, yes.
Once the project starts up,
Right, yes. Right, to go from ag to industrial.
commercial, or
rate.
industrial.
The other thing I brought to you today is when you determine, these exemptions, when the due date for these exemptions, okay? And I submitted each of you a memorandum that say that the exemptions must be in by June 1st. But not only that, they have to be in writing, okay? It is commonly known as an application for exemption, and this board approved those. And it says the exemption is required to begin when the request ought to be done June 1st of the first year that you're in business. And the board can go back the next year and revisit it if you did not do it and make it retroactive, okay? You can do it in one fell swoop of 10 years, or you can do it in multiple years. Say, I'm gonna give you a rate of 5 years to see what you're gonna do, or 3 years to see what you're gonna do, and you come back and, if you're doing fine, we'll give you the additional years, up to a multiple of 10 years. And I will say this, Ms. Brooks, many of them do a minimum of 7 years.
A max of 7.
A minimum of 7. Right, the max is 10, and a lot of them do 7 years rather than the 10 years. Okay. And they do it as an incentive to attract these businesses. Now you got to understand. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
Let me get in here.
and I do understand what Ms. Brooks is saying. If you look at it from one point, as far as we may not be on board, I do understand that completely. But I also understand, I guess what they're looking at is such a large investment, they want a little bit of security, the reason that the 7, so that is a toss-up, I do understand it. And I would, if I did, I'd want to go with the minimum of 7, whatever. But I do understand what you're saying. That is especially from our perspective, looking at it, there's somebody else that could be sitting here. I don't like that. But I understand that, they do an investment. They want they want some security. So I would say go with whatever the minimum of a recommended, as it goes like other people do, I would say go with the minimum.
And that's something you don't have to address right now. And you do it, and I would recommend, if you're talking about that, you do it on a business by business basis. Because if someone come in and say, look, we're gonna have a commitment of 500 employees, you'd be hard pressed to say I'm gonna tie you down to 3 years or 5 years. Yes.
All right, let me do this. Please.
Well, and you can always put language in there to say this, okay? That if you continue, we will revisit the remaining, 5 years or 3 years or whatever's left, up to 10 years. You can do that.
All right, question.
Yes, sir.
You have before you, what did we do with the request from the Charlotte property? What's the impact on this, of that request for the elderly? And I'm thinking it was
Which
for the
one?
7
I mean,
years.
you're talking about something different now, aren't you?
Nope.
What are you talking about now?
What are you talking about?
We had a request that came to us about the hotel out there. Mark came and asked for that exemption.
You don't have an application?
We don't have the application.
You don't have
What is the impact on that verbal request?
none? What do you mean? You cannot consider the verbal request because you do not have an application.
All right, so Mark.
And we didn't receive it before June, the proper time.
That's correct.
So if he bring it to us now,
We said, look at it for
No,
next year.
It would not be timely because it's beyond June 1st, for one thing.
And I agree, even if we've been doing it different in the past, we need to get online where we're doing it right.
But you haven't been doing it different.
Yeah.
This board has always had an application, okay? Yes, you have. Name, that is the process. Normally, normally, it will come from some lawyer, or from the business itself, but
okay, maybe we did, but I remember
I think what you're thinking, Carl,
the downtown.
I think you're saying two things, that maybe we didn't do, but they give us a request form to
I think you're right, because
the
the
clerk,
lawyers came with the owner of the
That's right,
downtown.
that's right, yes.
So I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I think you're right, but, and I remember the back. All right, so if we don't have a request before us now, if they were to put a request before us, we'd have to wait till next year, is what you're saying.
next year.
Yeah.
You have up until June.
That's not us, that's by the state law.
Yeah, that's what the statute says.
Yeah.
The
What else you got,
statute-
Mr. Griffin?
Yes, sir.
What else you got?
Sir,
What else you got? We gotta wrap up.
that's all.
You didn't carry
You
the
didn't
motion.
carry the motion to approve the agreement.
All right, so that's Mississippi Code 2731-101 and 105, right?
Right,
Right.
but the one you're doing today is 37, under, 27, dash 31-104. For the, in lieu of.
That's the solar.
That's a different statute.
All right, we need 104.
There's already a motion and a second on the
All right,
floor.
I got a motion and a second on that. Right. All in favor of the documents we get it signed and back to them? All in favor?
So,
All in, here? That's unanimous. So we'll sign this document and get it in place, right? All right, everybody understand what we just reviewed with 101 and 105?
Yes, sir.
That was the other,
101 and 105 is for the strict exemption.
right,
Yes, sir.
that we just reviewed. All right. No,
I'm sorry.
she meant years.
No,
You said 10. She
once you
wanted
get
to-
an application, you make that decision at that time.
No,
Right.
no, no. Mr. Griffin, lease for the, 199 acres of agricultural land.
We have, did we advertise? Yeah, we advertised. Okay, I'll have them release. The lease is here.
Right, this Delta Region. Yeah, I'm talking about the agricultural land that we did.
Okay, gotcha.
We need to get, they're actually ready to go to, they ready to go to work, but they got
Okay.
things to do first of the year. Lee, I'm sorry, come on. Oh, wait a minute. Did we miss anyone? Introduce yourself, come up to the mic, introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you got.
My name's Dane Spell with Truckworks. We sell Kenworth trucks, and
Okay.
and I just wanted to come meet you guys. I've been up here to the barn a number of times, and I hadn't been able to get in front of anybody, but I brought some hats and I got some business cards just to hand out, just to introduce myself. And I'd love to be able to set up a demo for a truck, just to talk to you guys and show you guys our trucks. We sell dump trucks and and tractor trucks and everything. And I'd love to set up a demo. And
Equipment committee, one of the supervisors gone, Mr. Benson.
okay.
And Mr. Gordon right there, of course,
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Perry. And any of the supervisors may want to get in the absence of another, you know.
Okay.
But that's
Well,
the equipment guy.
Mr. Lee, would you like to look at a truck?
Ms. Brooke, we can close out, then we'll start with you. So wait,
Best way just with the offer, just give the offer, communicate with them and stuff, just close out. Set it up.
One thing I just want to encourage everyone to go to the polls, vote on tomorrow. I also encourage you to read the day because this election is so important and it's about leadership for the United States and for service.
I'm fine. I'm gonna echo what Ms. Brooke was saying about the election tomorrow. It's important that we all get out there and be involved in our different districts. If there's an issue where we need to address something that may have slipped, please call. We get it, so ain't nothing we can't.
Sheriff needs something else.
But please be out tomorrow, check the precincts, and if there's an issue, don't panic, don't, we'll just make it happen, whatever you need.
All right, just shortly, we'll be out tomorrow. We'll have some extra people working. We'll be doing walkthrough to a polling place. I found out that there's nothing that we can't do. We're not gonna be just folks up, set up like, make it look like intimidate nobody, but we have the right to walk through the polling place and make sure things going fine and leave our numbers there. And, well, we will be at all polling places. And also, I wanted to ask one thing about, November the 16th, about Pam Chapman thing at the Convention Center, while it's a job fair. Do we know how many people's gonna be at this job fair?
No, we don't have a clue, we're hoping a bunch, but, let me have Ms. Chapman get with you if you don't mind, Ms. Sheriff.
Other part is about it in here. When they come in here, we have to ask the question on different things in here, and then we have to make sure that who's gonna take care when they have these job fairs and everything here, because the county have to bring somebody off, the sheriff department has to bring somebody in to work it at all time in here, when they're having something at their facility in there, because we got something special with the pandemic going on right now, that we got to make sure that people are where they're supposed to be at all times.
We'll follow up with her. Where you at, Grip? You good?
But
but
the
Ms.
main question why I asked that there, because you know, we get 500-600 people
finna
there.
close out, man.
Who gonna come to you next month and ask you about that they wanna have something at the convention center with 600, 700, 800 people? So we just need to be careful how we do it. I mean, I can't tell y'all how to do the things, and I'm just saying what's gonna happen.
All right, but we'll have Ms. Chapman get with you, Mr. Sheriff, make sure everything is straight. One of the reasons she's bringing in the professionals from FedEx is because they do have experience with doing this. And you're right, there's gonna be a bunch of people, because when they advertise, I don't see that flyer, but $18, just make me think about it. Don't let
Check
it.
this out.
$18 is strong. Ms. Griffin, you good?
Yeah, Mr. President, you need to recess your board probably either Friday or Monday, just in case something comes up, arising out of this election.
We'll recess. I'm gonna recess anyway since the first meeting of the month. But
I know you're gonna recess
what
until
is
the middle
it,
of the
about
month.
Friday, you say?
Well, you know, 5 days for a special call meeting.
If we don't need it,
You can cancel.
Right. We're gonna recess to 5 days. Chad, you good?
Yes.
All right,
So what date would that be?
that's right.
I mean,
He
what's
can't-
the
he
date?
counting today. He counting today.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so we need to recess to what date?
Either
So that
Friday
would
or
be the
Monday.
what?
Friday or Monday.
Oh, the date is what he
Yeah.
asked. I don't know.
Friday is the 7th. 6th, and Monday is the what, the 9th.
Make a motion that we recess till Friday the 6th.
Second. Second.
I got a motion and a second.
At 10 o'clock.
Resolution. Was he in the hospital? Was he in the hospital? Yeah.
All right. We'll go ahead and recess till Friday morning, 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
But you can cancel it if we can cancel it if we don't need it.
We can cancel it. Don't know. We'll know tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow. All right. All in favor of the recess, show by sign of aye. Any- The lawyers say 5 days. It's 5 days. Emergency meeting. Yeah. All of us under the same thing.